Baseball, bumper ball, plots, subplots, controversies, drama. The Lord's Test had it all and more as Australia edged England by 43 runs to go 2-0 up in the ongoing Ashes series. Unfortunately, the win was marred by controversies and none bigger than the Johnny Bairstow stumping by Alex Carey. Not only has it drawn a lot of hue and cry, but the Australian team were also called cheaters following the game. But the real question is, did they actually cheat? Personally, we feel no. To discuss the snowballing controversy on India.com Cricket Country, we have with us Anis Sajan. Anis is a well-renowned cricket expert based in Dubai. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for on India.com Cricket Country for the first time, Anis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ankit. The pleasure is all mine to be on your show.
Okay. So I'm sure you've been following the Ashes. I mean, it's making a lot of headlines all across the cricketing lines across the world. What do you have to say about it? I'm sure you've seen the top band that we have: Bekhayal, Bairstow, or Chatur, Carey, cheating or fair play. So which side on you? Which side are you on?
You see, Ankit, if this would have happened between an India-Australia game or an India-Pakistan game, the team which goes through that other side always complains that it's been cheating. I don't think there was anything called cheating in that. It was game awareness or street smartness by Alex Carey, because I was observing the match. In fact, I saw the whole match and I observed that Johnny Bairstow was coming out of the crease after playing a dot ball or when the ball was going to the wicketkeeper. And that smartness by Alex Carey was taken into account, and he ensured that he threw the ball even before this guy could come out of the crease, Bairstow. But if you look at the other side, if you look at the England side, he was not trying to steal a run. But it's like when a wicketkeeper is standing close to the stump, that can be called a stump chance. But because he was standing behind, it looks on television that it was cheating. But I don't think it was cheating. It was, I would say, fair and street smartness by Alex Carey.
Surely it wasn't cheating, Anis, because you see the keeper was just doing his job. And guess what? The double face of England was exposed. Guess how? Bairstow did tried the same a couple of days back when Marnus Labuschagne was at the wicket. Well, that's a different story, the fact that he missed it. But had it hit the wicket, you never know, Marnus Labuschagne would have been out. So now England are, making a lot of ruckus about this. My point is, and what I feel really bad is the way the Australian players were treated while they were walking back in that Lord's long room. You saw Usman Khwaja had to, he literally got into a conversation with one of these MCC oldie. I mean, how dare that one of these MCC oldie point fingers at the Australian team? That's my point over here. Anis, what do you have to say? Do they have any right? These lawmakers of the game.
You know what? We all know how English people are very emotional about their sport, whether it comes to football or cricket. And when it comes to matches against Australia, they take it very much into heart. And why they started this, because you know what Australia did with that sandpiper thing. That's the reason it was aggravated. They all know it was out, but they had to remove their frustration. So they got hold of Warner and Usman Khwaja and removed all the frustration. And this wouldn't have even come into account had Ben Stokes not played that brilliant innings. All would have gone buried below the carpet had Ben Stokes not played the innings. But I want to come to that fact which you mentioned, that Johnny Bairstow also tried it with Labuschagne. Even we have seen MS Dhoni, he waits for a moment for a player to lift his leg and then he gets the stumping done. So here the only problem is because the wicketkeeper was standing behind, people feel it is cheating. Had he been standing close, nobody would have said that.
Exactly, I totally agree with you over here. But you see, cricket is changing. This is modern cricket. People are ready to play it hard, right? It's not things of the past. You just mentioned the example of MS Dhoni. What happened with Ian Bell? Ian Bell was given out under similar circumstances in 2011 when Sachin Tendulkar walked up to MS Dhoni, told him that why don't you get Bell back? That was done. Spirit of cricket stayed alive. But what cricket? What spirit of cricket over here? That's what I'm not being able to understand. You make a rule, the guy is following the rule. Somebody gets out. Now you're crying about it. The English media was, going to town with, this incident that took place, which is really bad. What do you have to say about that, Anis? I mean, is this right? The way media has been, ripping apart Australia, After the first test match, they were ripping apart their own team that don't play baseball cricket. Baseball cricket is not, I mean, it's not right. You're not winning games. We are here to win games. So, England media, they are changing sides. I mean, it's so weird. They are behaving like the Australian media.
Yes, you like now hit the nail. If it would have happened to an Australian player getting run out like this or stumped like this, the Australian media would have made you and cry. Let's accept the fact. And I'll be very honest, being a passionate Indian fan, had India been gone through this, if Indian player would have been run out this way or stumped this way, we also wouldn't have kept quiet. So media has shown us disappointment, so has been the crowd. So let's not make any mistake, whether it is England or because at the moment it's England on the other side who face that wrath of run out or stumped of Bairstow. That's why they are complaining. We know what happened when Ashwin did the bunker to Butler. People said that that's not in the spirit of the game. Or in the women's cricket, it happened again. So, जिस team पे बीतती है, whichever team goes through it, makes the noise. Whichever teams gets the wicket, enjoys or probably has to go through this banter or the media or the fans.
Well, yes, I totally agree with it. You know why people are making a lot of hue and cry about it? Because at that moment when Bairstow walked into bat with Ben Stokes, England needed about 200 odd runs to win the game. Bairstow, he was a very key player at that time. And had he stuck around there, stitched a partnership with Ben Stokes, maybe he didn't have to change his style of play. He could have just knocked it around, stitched a partnership, get England to a position where they feel they can, go for the victory. And because Bairstow was out in that fashion, things changed. Ben Stokes had to change his game. He straight away went to fourth gear and he started hitting those sixes. But again, how good was Ben Stokes? How good is this guy? Anis, he keeps surprising us. Believe me, I thought there's going to be a repeat of 2019 Headingley, probably even better. That did not happen. So, Anis, what do you have to say about it? What about Ben Stokes? Is he the best currently?
Yeah, well, I can say honestly, he's the Superman of England cricket. You know what? You did not want to do more of front of your television screen when he was batting. As you said that he changed gears, he went into the fourth gear. He took apart Chris Green, rather, uh, and then went after all the English bowlers, rather Australian bowlers. They before that break, they were bowling short to him, thinking that they will get him out. They almost got him out when Smith dropped the catch, but like you mentioned, Ben Stokes is special. He did it in 2019, but here Australia had lots of runs in the bank, almost 190, 180 runs. And when they realized that what the mistakes they were making, Ricky Ponting pointed out during the commentary that they had to bowl in the offside because all his shots were coming on the mid wicket when they're trying to bowl short or when they were trying to pitch it up. There was not a single ball on the offside. But without taking anything away from Ben Stokes, he is indeed a champion. He did it in the 2000 Headingley. He did it in the World Cup final. And once again, he almost did it, even though England lost by 70 odd runs. But I feel Ben Stokes can win a match from any situation.
A lot of Ben Stokes over here. Let's also talk about Nathan Lyon. The guy is a goat, the greatest of all time. He gets injured, and we feel that Australia have lost the match because in the second they say he won't be bowling. He's out of the equation. But then what does Pat Cummins do? He comes up with the bumper ball. They are calling it the bumper ball, where you bounce out the opposition. That worked in the first innings for Australia. It also worked in the second innings. So now, is this going to be the template for Australia in the next three test matches? Anis, what do you think?
Well, you know what? When it comes off, it looks good. Like you mentioned, Australia used the short ball well and got three England wickets out. Because England now, let's accept the fact they are not scared of losing. They play that attacking, as you call that baseball cricket or the Stokes cricket, and England paid the price for it, and so did England got the wickets in their second innings. But you mentioned about this guy Nathan Lyon. I want to mention this point. When Nathan Lyon came on to bat, I remember Kevin Peterson mentioned on air that he's come on to bat so that he gets hit on the head and they will have a concussion player replaced. I mean, that's ridiculous. You have to give it to this gentleman who came on to bat on one leg, gave that crucial 15 runs, because in the end, if you watch, the margin of defeat was not that big. That 15 runs made a lot of difference. And you think any batsman would come and hit on the head, you might even die. This is Sar Gates from Kevin Peterson. Rather than giving credit to the guy that he has not missed 103 test matches, mind you, I remember Tendulkar probably playing 100 test matches or what together. And this guy, as an off spinner, has played non-stop 103 test matches. Comes on to bat when the teams require. That shows the greatness. That's why he's called the GOAT.
Anis, you've actually hit the nail on its head. Those 15, 16 runs made all the difference in the end because that also changed the way you think. When Ben Stokes was thinking about a win, he was thinking, okay, we need 80 runs to win. But had Nathan Land not scored those runs, Ben Stokes would be thinking, okay, it's just 60 odd runs to win. So soch badal jata. But that did not happen thanks to Nathan Land. But now Nathan Land is not going to be there for Australia in the Ashes series in the remaining three test matches. How big a setback is it? Do you think England have a chance to, come back into the Ashes and, level it up and set up a grand final test match? Anis, what do you think?
Well, Nathan Lyon definitely will be missed. We all know what he can do with the ball. He's done it in the first test match. Okay, in this test match, he couldn't contribute with the ball because he got injured. But his absence will be definitely felt. We have to see how Todd Murphy performs in his absence. He's not going to be playing on Indian wickets. He's going to bowl on English wickets. Whether he'll be able to get the same bite which he got in India. But yes, he will be missed. And when you ask me whether England will come back, I still have a sneak feeling you will see a different England coming out in the third test match. And you might get into, unless rain plays spoil sport, being weather in conditions in England are very fickle mind, and it changes according to every day. So if there is 5 days of proper cricket and do the two test matches, I still back England to come back in the series.
Anis, we have sessions every day, and before the Ashes started, we were regularly talking about how sustainable is the baseball template. Like, how long can you actually sustain it? So now I feel England has tried it twice. They have lost both the matches. Win is very important. This is the new WTC cycle. Do you think England are going to continue with the baseball theory? Is Ben Stokes going to walk the talk, come Headingley? What do you think, Anis?
100%. I mean, not because he played a trillion innings of 150. He said it in the first test match. In that first test match, there were some 380 for 8, and then he declared. That shows that they are here to play to win. I mean, they are not worried about losing, even though, it's like an India-Pakistan rivalry, which is the Australia-England. He's not worried. And they almost dominated that first test match till Pat Cummins and Lyon won the game. And in the second test match also, they were somewhat 240 for one, and when they went for some attacking shots. So they are here to play that style of cricket. I don't see them any changing. Australia is also going to play the same style. We need to see which team comes out trumps. As I mentioned, as a passionate fan of cricket, I want England to come back in the series so that we have a cracker of a final test match.
Absolutely. What I want to say is let's forget about Australia and England. Now that England has already started the baseball template, do you think other teams are also going to, follow suit and try that on their own? For example, maybe India, we are playing two test matches against the West Indies in the Caribbean. The conservative style of India has not helped them win the WTC final after reaching the summit clash twice. Should they change the template, adopt the baseball theory? I'll tell you why I'm asking you this question, Anis, is because I feel India have better quality in their batting arsenal than compared to England. So if they can do it, why can't we do it? And also against a team like West Indies, where you have nothing to lose. These guys, they haven't even made it to the World Cup. So why not, experiment against these guys? Anis, what do you think?
Ankit, I'm glad you asked me this question since it's related to India. The difference between India playing baseball cricket and England plays baseball cricket. When India loses, there is a lot of hue and cry. I know Michael Vaughan was making a lot of noise when they lost wickets. But here, you're talking about a population of 1.4 to 1.5 billion people. They don't accept defeat so easily. They would say, why change the template? Yes, if you ask me, should India play the baseball style of cricket? Why not? Like you mentioned, we have a better batting order. But will India play? I don't think. It's all about the mindset. India goes with the traditional mindset of playing test matches. We don't have a Virendra Sehwag who comes and plays that style of cricket. Yes, we have the likes of Gill who likes to attack. But with Rohit Sharma's captainship under the scanner, I don't think he'll do that.
Forget about Rohit Sharma's captaincy, Anis. Rahul Dravid is a person he will not like to, adopt to that style. I feel had Ravi Shastri been here, you just never know. He's like that gunda kind of a vibe he has. He would have asked the guys, "Jaake dil khol ke khelo, maar ke khelo," and all that. But I think that's not going to happen during Rahul Dravid's tenure as the coach of India. But let's just talk about the Ashes. Let's come back to the Ashes. The Headingley Test starts in about a couple of days' time. Who do you think start favorites now that Australia are going to miss Nathan Lyon? Can we safely say,
Ankit,
okay, maybe, yeah.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
So do you think England are going to start favorites now that Nathan Lyon is out of the equation? What do you think?
Ankit, I had said this on another channel also that in this series, England start as favorites. But the Australian media and the Australian experts felt that it's going to be Australia who are going to be favorites because the bowling attack is different for the style of cricket. And they proved us right that they have been able to beat Australia, beat England, even though England did dominate the first Test match. But the second Test match, from beginning till the end, Australia always had that wood. But when you come into the third Test match, yes, Nathan Lyon's absence will be definitely felt. Now, if you ask me who will be the favorite, obviously when you're going 2-0 up, you have to back Australia to go 3-0 up. But with this style of cricket, England now wouldn't bother. Ab do hare, let us. I don't care even if I lose the third. That's what mindset Ben Stokes will go. So that might probably play into the hands of England and go against Australia.
Anis, what according to you would be the talk in the dressing room, because they are not having a lot of time between test matches from Lords to Headingley. It's about 3 days time. So what will be the talk? How would Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum get together and inspire these guys who have faced dejection? Trusting the baseball theory, they have lost 2 matches. So now what will be the mood in the dressing room? How can Ben Stokes and maybe Brendan McCullum motivate the team, inspire the team ahead of the Headingley test? What do you think, Anis?
Ankit, you see, nobody likes to lose test matches, and especially England and Australia, they don't like to losing to each other. And the not only the fans but the players, they feel gutted. For them, winning an Ashes is more important than winning a World Cup. It's like for India and Pakistan. You beat Pakistan or Pakistan beat India, they say World Cup jeet liya. So this, if you ask me what motivation, what Stokes or McCullum will give, I believe they will say that please follow the same style of cricket. Easier said than done. When you play that cricket and when you win, people said, "Oh, you've been playing that baseball cricket." But when you lose, that there are second thoughts coming into the mind that what happened. But I remember England doing this in the World Cup where they had lost 3 matches in a row, and when they came and played against India, they started a little cautiously, but then they played attacking cricket, and then rest is history, as they say. So I don't think England is going to play that style of change that style of cricket. Both Stokes, who's leading from the front, and Bazball are aggressive cricketers. I believe they will tell their players, play the way you have been playing. If you're good enough, you'll beat the opposition.
So it seems like despite the 2 losses, England is still going to continue with the baseball template. Though, as according to Anis, he feels that without Nathan Lyon, England has a very promising chance at Headingley. Let's see what happens. Anis, of course, is hoping that the series, heads into the final test match. It's going to be a cracker for sure. Stay tuned to India.com Cricket Country for all the latest across sports. Thank you for joining me in this session, Anis. Surely we're going to join you with more sessions in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ankit. Appreciate